Hello, and welcome to the penultimate session of this second arc of Hearts of Wulin, Numberless Secrets, which is a wuxia game of melodrama and romance and action, and this time combined with mysteries and mystery solving using elements of some of the mystery solving games developed by Ali Jeffrey, and then Advanced in Apocalypse Keys by Ray Najati. And we're using sort of the Apocalypse Keys kind of framework for approaching these things. Our characters are, for the most part, in good shape, with the exception of Song Da, who has a couple of elements marked. But everybody else seems like they're in good shape. Let's walk through and see about entanglements and advances or anything like that. Chow Lin, did you get an advance last time?
No.
Okay. So looks like about halfway through to the next thing. You've got one bond. How are you feeling about your entanglements?
Uh, Probably should update the gender. They're okay for right now.
Okay. Feel free if you change them during the session to do that. We certainly have some of your figures on stage to interact with.
Yep.
Let's come back over to Bao Shi. Bao Shi is clean and clear. Has a variety of bonds at their disposal. They have prepared for what is coming. Speaking of preparing for what is coming, would you please roll me 2d6?
Yes, let's do that. Well, roll good. Oh, it's a 4. So I got an XP. I leveled.
Yes. Okay. So you get an advance.
And you got a soft move on there.
Yes, I do. I will save that right here.
I was knocking on XP's door, and
Yeah.
there it was.
All right, and we'll figure out what you want to take. Are you still good with your entanglements?
Yep, I'm gonna, depending on what happens when I see Songbird, that one may change here at the end, but otherwise they're probably cruising to the end of the run.
Okay. And Songda, good number of bonds, a little bit of some elements marked. You got an advance last time, right?
I did. I took my fire up to 3.
Ooh, excellent. And are you still good with your entanglements?
I am, yeah.
Okay. And then last but not least, Blue Mountain Scholar, you are empty of bonds.
I am. Otherwise, I'm in good shape, but I do not have bonds. Yes. I will admit.
Did you get an advance last time?
I did. And so what I have plenty of now are shadows. I have many shadows to call upon. Should my study success be less than stellar?
Are you good with your entanglements?
Actually, yeah, I think they're pretty good fit right now.
Do you want to change that name? The man whose name I do not know?
Oh, yes. In the 11th Hound. Such good names, these men I am attracted to.
All right. Matt Dowdy sent me an email here, and I'm going to fix this problem.
Love Matt Dowdy.
Yeah, good guy. I played in a Fate of the Fairy Queen, which is a Fate of Cthulhu game with Matt Dowdy, and he was an absolute delight to play with. Look, somebody who gets into their character, and you're like, wow, you're really your character. You're like deep down in the. So we left off.
I did pick up my move for my XP.
And what are you taking?
I'm taking Midnight Orchid. I have a lavish wardrobe. Whenever you would look bedraggled or dirty, you're clean and spotless in the next shot, in the same outfit or in a new one. And I gained one of the, as a following NPC, And with your consent, I'm going to take, rather than an assistant, an apprentice, which would be First Orchid.
First Orchid. Excellent. I love it.
Nice.
That does mean First Orchid can't be the killer. So
Yay.
So we're
Or
going
she definitely oughtn't to be.
Oughtn't to be the
We don't
killer.
have to give her such a good task.
We are our mystery has a difficulty of 8. We are at 7 clues, which means we can be a little more sedate about mystery clue gathering today, with the idea that next time we can kind of set up to do the solution process, maybe have some time to think about that, get other clues if people want, so that we can do that and then have some time for RP after that. But that's where we are right now. Last time, there was a general movement by the people to essentially get permission to not be held here in the facilities. And so the senior people of various places have gone off. They are still nearby, or part of the Empress to Dowagers group or whatnot. And they are present, and it does mean that you all have that set for yourselves, such that sometimes moderating Open Hearth means that I'm getting emails in the middle of doing games. And folks misunderstand. In any case, what I was going to say is you have the opportunity to now go and circulate as you will, talk to people, and it might be best probably for us to start with the group together in Baoshi's offices to kind of frame up where we are, especially given Baoshi's interaction with our particular agent, Lady Fathom, from last time. So we take up, and I imagine it's the next morning. You got out of there late, so you've all caught a little bit of sleep. Sangda, do you think you slept well?
No, I think I had weird poison and antidote dreams.
Okay. And Xiaolin, are you still staying where you are, or like are you worried about bodyguarding the Blue Mountain household, or what?
I think I offer to like stay at the Blue Mountain household, and like it is just an offer. Like if Shania says no, I'm fine, and like insists, then okay, you know.
Shania?
She's like, oh yes, that would be excellent. And she's very like, I don't know if I'm going to sleep very well, so I'll try not to disturb you, but everything feels like it's coming to a boil. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a guest room. It is small, but incredibly comfortable.
And you are treated well. They have a few servants there who are clearly used to providing things and then getting out of the way. And they sort of are in and out and vanish. And I imagine that Baoshi, when you were heading back home, First Orchid would have kind of popped up behind you at the street to kind of like, just to make sure you get home okay, kind of thing.
And I will offer, I don't know if you have taken up lodgings, but you are more than welcome to stay at my abode. There are a couple of extra rooms, and I don't believe that Iron Lotus is present, and I do have the worst time making tea for myself.
Is that part of my tasks then?
Well, it's not part of your tasks.
I see. I understand. This is not something I'm unaccustomed to. So, and you see her kind of look up, and you know that her partner was not a particularly practical person. So, so yeah, she will take advantage of that. And so early in the morning, as the sun is coming up, and again, the city lavishly appointed celebrations in honor of the Empress Dowager. Those are all still going on. And I think as you are heading over to Baoshi's, Shaolin, Sangda, Ozamel, you will definitely get the sense that news of what happened has not gotten out more generally. That there's a certain amount of discretion. You know that most of the servants that were present were people from the Empress Dowager's retinue. There were a few people that were provided by Master Zhajing, which is kind of how First Orchid was able to slip in. But they clearly have not yet spread that gossip, though it's only a matter of time. So we'll see the four of you gathered together, seated. Tea has been poured. First Orchid has kind of gone to the back, has picked up the stylus and tablet to kind of make notes as you all work. Though unlike Lotus, who's very, very diligent, you can definitely see that First Orchid drifts off a bit, and then maybe there's some sketching in the margins and drawing of birds and that kind of thing as it's going on.
I suppose, and we probably come to be finishing up talking about my encounter with the guard.
Right, Lady Fathom.
The Fathom. It would seem that they're not as diligent as eliminating all of the Dragon Guard at the turnover as rumors would say.
Makes sense. They're secret.
Exactly.
Secrets don't go away that easily.
And the truth is, I mean, considering that there are very few who would know, other than the Emperor themselves, who the entirety of the network is, there may not just be one, but in this case, we know of one.
Hmm.
She certainly seemed surprised to discover that our victim was one of the Dragon Guard, though. So I do not believe the Dowager was informed of this.
No. It's a little uncertain what the relationship is in the sense of, but I'm sure that the Emperor and the Emperor Dowager do keep secrets from each other.
Yes, I would imagine. Sonda, perhaps you would know. What are the sort of rumors in the court of their relationship? I have to think there was some tension early on when the brother of our former emperor took control.
I'm not sure, Lo.
So
What do I
what we
know about
had
that?
kind of established before is that his death had been sudden, but like nothing was ever openly suggested and nothing was ever proven. It is very much an open question as to if something untoward occurred there. But the general story is that after a period of illness, he passed away.
And there wasn't any debate at all of who the heir would be. Was he designated by the previous emperor or something?
So I want to answer that question, and then I'll let Songda make a study roll if he wishes. But no, his brother was within a few years of his age, and was the obvious choice.
Mm.
So Songda, would you like to?
I would like to, yeah. Water probably.
Okay.
That is a 6.
That is a 6. Are you happy with that 6, or do you wish to burn a bond? Or burning bond is probably the best call.
Yeah, I do have many bonds. So I can burn my bond with Baoshi.
Okay. So what is your question or your declaration?
So this is just like setting details question.
Sure.
But the prince there, that is presumably her son, who what would have been emperor if the father hadn't died.
She has a couple of children. So it could be one of a couple of princes, if that is who that is. That's not an answer to your question, because I don't think that's what you're spending your question on.
Cool. Yeah, I am curious if there were any stories of like how did the transition go? Was it obvious on all sides, or was there contention?
It went smoothly in a lot of ways, but there is a story that's out there, and it has come through enough like lines and suggestions that you have, absolutely unproven, but the hearsay is there. And I mean, you're the kind of person who pulls together the bits and pieces, and so you assembled this. There is a suggestion that, in fact, what happened was that she poisoned her husband, and that had been part of a maneuver to take the throne for herself. But the brother did not fall in whatever incident she had planned for him. But he has behaved with decorum and equanimity since then.
I will say the imperial palace and the imperial family is, of course, a peaceful and heaven-blessed machine of bureaucracy that leads us with wisdom and light. But have you heard the rumors?
Huh. And you've told us before he has children, even though he's not married, that are presumed potentially his heirs.
Yes,
So
they
it would
are.
not be one of the old emperor's princes. It didn't follow primogeniture; it went
Right.
to him instead.
The only thing being that the reason you know that whatever prince is here is not the actual prince child of the emperor is that none of those children have come of age.
So theoretically, if Emperor died, it might fall to one of the old Emperor's children.
No, it's not. That's not a question of age. That's a question of premature line.
Politics. Yeah.
They're and certainly by mandate of heaven, it would pass to one of his children unless something were to happen.
Well, I mean, we had something happen the last time. It didn't pass to the old Emperor's child. So, okay. Huh. So lots of weirdness.
Yeah.
Oh, I
But they would have
I
been
see something.
like, yeah. So they would have been significantly younger at that point when the emperor passed away. So yeah, it's all complicated. There's a lot of palace stuff, the various factions there, the eunuchs, different groups maneuvering.
It is very delicate and difficult, and well, but it would be helpful if any of us had a chance to talk to the Dowager Empress or the Prince of Indeterminate Origin.
Yes. Yes, I think that might be a good idea.
Do you think this has anything to do with the murders?
Can't see it how it. Well, I think it has a high potential.
Oh.
The secret workings of the secret agents of the various emperors.
Yes, there is that. Certainly dragons. Okay.
Now we have Indigo Judgment as
Yes.
an issue going through.
Yes, I would like to point something out that Childland mentioned. Grave of Saints lost his sight while he was traveling with Indigo Judgment, and upon awakening, he had lost his memory. And I think at this point, last song looks at Sangha. It's odd. I had never heard of anything that could cause memory loss. Like in a controlled method, it would usually be a strike to the head and liable to cause all kinds of other problems along with that.
I'll take liters and liters and liters of something to drink.
Exactly. A thing. And she sort of stops and goes,
Poison?
no. Well, some dog knows more about it, I think.
There are stories in the various histories of different medicines and alchemical brews. I would not say, obviously, that I am much of an expert in it.
But you know that there are recipes for those in the library.
Indigo
Correct.
Judgment certainly warned me off of attempting to investigate pretty much anything unusual, even before the Dowager had arrived.
Do you think he was warning you about something that was already present?
I think he
Who
was
was
threatening
here?
my life if I were to stick my nose in his business, is what I think.
Yes, or perhaps he would blind you and make sure that you don't remember the circumstances under which the blinding occurred.
Perhaps so.
Or what happened just previous to that.
I apologize, Sonta. I know it can't be comfortable for us to be supposing such awful things about your master.
I'm sure that it's all just fine and there's a perfectly reasonable explanation, but also he is very intimidating to talk to.
There are several tacts that we could look at. If we could figure out anything at all about what our victim, and I'll say her name, I just, for the moment, I don't want to look.
Absolutely. Winter Iris.
Winter Iris, there we go. What she was trying to find. That cipher would be, well, that would be a tremendous bit of information.
I can look.
I have asked if the Dowager would perhaps entertain an audience. I could try to speak with her. I would also love to speak with the prince. But we would see if, and if, of course, if anyone wishes to accompany me doing that. The question I find most puzzling is it seems hard to imagine our two poisonings are not linked. What is the link between them?
So the scroll seems to be set up long in advance. All right. Someone who knew that their information would be someone would be going through it. And that person would be someone who is looking for something about a particular target.
It's someone here. It's not someone, it wouldn't be someone traveling with the Empress Dowager. It would be someone who had access to that room. Well, who knows how long ago, but
Or to the shipments.
true.
And it
But
could have been
since-
focused on whoever would be looking for those ciphers.
Mm-hmm.
It is a puzzlement.
So I know that Bao is talking about going and see the Empress Dowager. What are other people thinking about? Like, just so we can kind of maybe get on the table the general thoughts. Shaolin?
Definitely going to go see Sister Lushan at some point.
Okay.
That might not be the first thing I do. I'm kind of curious about the abbot, I think.
Careful. We need to follow up on that hidden passage.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that seems more up my alley.
Okay. What about you, La Song Janai?
I do want to figure out the cipher. But in some ways it feels like it was made to be such a trap. I don't know that it would do much more than tell me what were the commonalities between things right now. So hopefully I would be able to figure something out from what I'm finding.
One thing you haven't had access to, and you know that those materials are not in the temple, but are in the Empress Dowager's place, overseen by Master Zhaixing, is what about the rest of Winter Iris's possessions?
Hmm. I suppose I could go and ask, since she sort of pauses, says I'm also female, so it's more appropriate in those things that I could go and acquire those for her.
There's a brief moment where your a friendly
The first orchid
says, perhaps that's a small administrative task that I could take care of.
Right. I do think that you have the superior skills in that.
And Song Da?
I'm tempted with going to see the Empress as well, but I think Song Da is really obsessed with this Dragon Guard story and trying to figure out what's going on there. Maybe going to see Lady Fathom?
That seems like a plan.
I haven't talked to her, but if she's part of the Dragon Guard story, I think that would catch his interest.
Absolutely. So I think to kind of like roll us forward. There is the knock at the door that suggests, somebody knocking with their sword hilt. And kind of even before you say anything, the door will open and you will see Hell.
Mm.
And he will step inside. He looks around like very carefully to see if Lotus is here. Does not see Lotus, and then will turn to you and will say, Master Baoshi, you are summoned.
Excellent. My friends, I will be reporting back to you as soon as possible. Sogdar, do you wish to accompany me to the temple?
But no. Maybe next time you go talk to the Empress in person for a nice private meeting.
Of course. I will kind of give you a bit of a look. You don't have to go in with an audience. I'm sure that Lady Fathom would be more than willing to keep you company.
Oh. Well, if she's going to be there, maybe that would be interesting.
The Empress is at Master Zhaijing's household currently, and not at the temple as well. Her entourage is there. If you have need to speak with Lady Fathom, she is there.
Oh, very, very good.
Shall we go?
Yes, lead on, Macduff.
And he will take you over to the Master Zhaijing's house. Again, he is the actual kind of mayor. He is the person who pulls the strings, but he is not the mayor in like governor prefectural name. There is another person who is in his pocket who handles that. But this is the most elaborate household estate here in the city. Beautiful mansion, lovely walls, well-staffed, beautiful gardens, all of that kind of thing. Big enough that they've been able to dedicate one wing of it just to the Empress's retinue, and that can all be taken care of on their own. And you will come in. There are definitely guards here for Master Zhaijing's as well as Imperial guards. And when you come in, Hell will turn to you, Songda, and will say, I believe that Lady Fathom is doing her morning practice in the dojo. That way.
All right. Songda looks suddenly terrified of him and his very threatening directions down the hallway.
And Baoshi, he will turn to you and say, follow me. And you'll be walked through the household, be brought in to sort of the master great visitation chamber. Everything here has been decorated with all of the colors of the Empress Dowager's household and the beautiful golds and yellows. And you will see that Black Pearl is there, recovered, but still clearly a little weak. He will bow to you, and he will say, you are well, Master Baoshi?
I am, and you?
I am well as well.
I am very glad to hear.
When you go in, there is a marker on the floor there. It is subtle, but go no further than that. Bow, kneel until she gives you permission to rise.
Very good. Thank you, and I am glad, very glad that you are recovering.
Oh, I am not accompanying you. The door
I
slides
said
open.
recovering.
Oh, okay, recovering. Yes, recovering. I'm sorry. A door opens, and you will see the chamber is lit. Lady Shen is there. She has a desk that's been brought that is in front of her. You will notice that the only other person who is here is Ping Nangu, that woman that Chao Lin spoke with, and she is off to the side. You see she's got a dulcimer and she's tuning the dulcimer there. She's sitting there.
I'd hate to die by dulcimer.
That would be tragic. A too tragic story.
Yes, but I have no doubt she can do it.
You will come in, go to the line. You know all of the court graces, bow, and she will say, "Stand, Master Baoshi, stand, stand."
Thank you, Your Majesty.
So, what progress?
We have discovered several rather disturbing things. I can only imagine that the information that I gave to Lady Fathom reached your ears.
She gave me a general sense of what had happened. I was surprised. I was not informed by the emperor that he had set such an illustrious person along, clearly to act as a bodyguard. She says, clearly not believing that at all.
Yes. It appears that she was looking for some sort of communication. There was a cipher, is my best estimation, hidden amongst the scrolls that had been transported here. She was picking through them, looking for whatever this message might have been, whatever was hidden within. However, someone had taken the effort to replace the scrolls that would have been there with poisoned scrolls.
Have you uncovered this cipher?
We are in the process of looking further into that. I hope within the day we will know much more about it.
Is one of your company a specialist in ciphers?
One of my company is very clever at discovering hidden meaning. Yes, Your Majesty.
I see.
I don't wish to presume, but if I may ask a question or two.
You may ask.
Of course.
And you'll hear the little bit of a and she tightens one of the strings just a little bit to kind of make that sound and then kind of lets it go.
We have to believe that the attack on Black Pearl is somehow related. It has been very difficult, however, to see what a result of both of these people's death would mean.
If this librarian was sent as a protector and an attaché by the emperor, Black Pearl is a vital person to our travels. The loss of him and the loss of a bodyguard, certainly, perhaps there are others on the list. Perhaps they hoped to, in one fell swoop, give them closer access to the royal person.
That is what I fear as well, Your Majesty. Taking someone as close as Black Pearl away from your service would have opened up a potential threat. Is there anyone who comes to mind who might wish your august personage some harm?
My husband was emperor, and in his role as emperor, he made many decisions. I know that history never goes away. Old resentments return. Perhaps there is someone who bears an old grudge who would be looking into things that way.
Is it possible also, Your Majesty, that maybe you were not the potential target, but that it might have been the prince?
You have something to suggest that's the case?
No, but at least not yet, or two such great personages. It is wise to look for who might wish to injure either. In either case, this disruption would have put both of you at danger.
Go on.
Is there someone perhaps who bears a grudge with the prince?
I doubt that.
Very good. That relieves me considerably. I would hate to think that that the young prince would be in danger. Would it be possible that I would speak with him briefly?
No.
I see. That is completely understandable. Can I get off a
Yeah, web of connections.
Shadows?
Yeah, I think so. Now, keep in mind what the mid-rate range result of that is.
Oh, yeah. That's me giving up stuff, if I remember correctly, right?
That is, in fact, when you do that tracing shadows on a 7 to 9, your target is aware of your workings.
Oh, yes, indeed.
So I'll just point that out. So you keep that in mind for how many bonds you're going to spend.
I do have a lot of bonds. Let's see if we can manage to. If not, there's no point in me being here. This is what I'm for. All right.
What are you rolling with?
Let's see here. It's going to be metal. This is calculation reflection. Yeah, that's probably it.
Okay.
All right. Come on, baby, roll well. That's a 10.
10. She is here to meet with Indigo Judgment. Like, I think there's some of the general conversation that goes on, and it's the way that she says his name that tells you that there's more emphasis on that. And I think the other thing you'll realize as she's talking about this is, I mentioned before that she has a couple of sons, the potential heirs. The way she's talking, it sounds like one of them is dead. And that's not publicly known.
Like, she's just dropping little hints that
it's not even hints. It's just the way that she says some things, the way that she pauses on certain things. You think that something has happened to one of those kids.
Okay. And just for me to check in, early on when Janai spoke with her, something we learned was that Iris. Part of the thing she wanted to do was cause trouble for her.
That was the sense you
Yeah.
got. Yes.
So I think as by ending out, we will continue going about this investigation, and I will make sure that you are informed as much as possible as I discover things. One thing that seems to have brought Iris here is a desire to strike out, or at least look into Master Indigo Judgment.
And that is when the atmosphere in the room goes frosty. And you'll see her turn and her eyes narrow, and any kindness that she has had in her eyes throughout this kind of vanishes. And you definitely also realize that the woman at the dulcimer has gone perfectly still, as if waiting. And she will say, interesting.
I assure you, anything we discover, we will inform you of first.
Do that.
Yes, Your Majesty.
And you will walk out.
Well, that wasn't a certainty.
Let's do Song Da, then we'll take our break and come to Janai and Shaolin, if that seems okay. Song Da, you will walk in through the household of the populace there, members of the family of Jiajing. And in fact, he will see you walking through the halls, and he will approach you. It is Song Da, is it not?
Yes, Master Jiajing.
Yes. To what do we owe this honor?
Oh, well, actually, I sort of came as a tag along with Detective Baoshi. I was actually wondering if there's a Lady Fathom training somewhere down this way.
She is using the training hall. Here, follow me. I will take you there.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. And he will walk along with you, and he will say, I had met Master Indigo and Lady Lushan before, but it was a pleasure to have a chance to speak with them, albeit briefly, at last night's dinner.
Oh, do you have an interest in the Bureau?
As much as anyone who studies the classics has an interest in history.
Oh, I understand that. I grew up reading as much of the legends as I could get publicly available, and then I've spent years digging through the archives since I've joined.
I've mostly studied the 5 classics. Beyond that, it's a little. But here we are, and he will gesture to the family hall. The doors are open. Kind of walk through into one of those sort of cleared areas in the back, and you will see Lady Fathom working through her styles, her maneuvers. One of the things that you can tell is she has a sword, but it's basically a hilt and an iron rod. It looks heavy, though she uses that with grace, but you can also tell that she is very good at unarmed. Like she's doing her maneuvers and her stances and so on. And when she does that kind of, gesture forward with her hand, you kind of feel the air crackle when she does that. And then there's that moment, of course, when she's standing and she's got the sword behind her back and she's in her stance and she will see you and she will stop and put the blade away and approach. And as is the thing in all of these wuxia things, no sweat, no ruffle of the clothing. It doesn't look like he's been doing anything. She will approach you and she will say, "You are looking for me?"
Yes, Lady Fathom, right?
"It is my name.
I'm Songda from the Bureau of Legends.
I was introduced to you last night, and I do remember that."
That's wonderful. Uh, even though it usually goes so well for me, can I roll my historian move to see how she feels about the Bureau?
Sure.
When you meet a new named member of Wulin Society. Smiling very brightly, happy, fire, passion. Doesn't everybody love everybody? I got 11.
So, like, you have a fairly encyclopedic knowledge of the Wulin world, and you like pull up your knowledge and you recall some things about Lady Fathom, the that you have in your recollection. What is it in your recollection that makes you suddenly realize that while she's calling herself Lady Fathom, that is absolutely not who she is? What do you know about the real Lady Fathom that tells you that she has assumed this identity?
So it is commonly known that Lady Fathom prefers a giant and unwieldy looking weapon. But I know that her style is actually air based, and that giant weapon is actually like thin as foil and like a razor blade. And this woman is clomping around with this giant heavy sword. This is never what she would practice with.
Right. It certainly, she's done a good job, and to those in the know, they might mistake her for Lady Fathom, but that is not who she is.
It is such an honor to meet someone so well known in the legends. I travel with important and well known people, but
You travel with
people of such
Shaolin, do
honor.
you not?
I do.
That does not speak well of your character.
I have always known Shaolin's character to be quite excellent.
Well, that is a very different story than the one that I have heard. But go on. What is it you need?
Well, to be honest, Shaolin has become over the years like a brother to me, and it it upset me at the feast the other night to see that he obviously makes you uncomfortable, and he would never bring it up. I think he would be too proud to dip into such things. But what could cause this sort of strife? If I could work out
I
the
have it on good
tension between
authority
the
that he
two of you.
murdered a number of people in the town of the Lushan Crossroads.
I can't imagine murder is I maybe in a duel.
That is not what I had heard.
Well, please tell me your story. If
I do not need to do that. It is neither my duty nor my inclination to go through that with you.
Are you sure you wouldn't be willing to talk to Chaolin?
There is no need at this point.
A
If
moderated, a public situation
why would I do that?
to come
My
to an
duty
understanding
here,
between the two of you.
my duty here is to the Empress. When all is said and done, I will make sure that we settle the matter with finality.
Well, that is certainly very disappointing. I suppose I will have to go carry the bad news to Chaolin himself. Maybe so he can prepare himself for the afterworld.
And you move to kind of back up to get out here.
So, did this not work out? Oh, well, I guess I'll leave now.
And when you turn, she's there. And she says, "Was that all you came to speak to me about?"
That was all that I needed to know. Just sense of honor as a friend.
And she'll step back out of your way.
Again, so wonderful to meet you, Lady Fathom.
And you, Master Songta. She will keep
Back
an
out
eye
of the
on
room.
you. Yeah, she's very dangerous. I think that what I will tell you is you can tell that she is above your scale and the scale of your companions.
I mean, that was a big, heavy iron bar she was flinging around.
Yeah. Like a big old blade made of rebar. Let's take 5 just to do a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll go to Lost Song and Chaolin. Okay. Should we start with Janai or Chaolin? Do either of you have?
Both going to the temple, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things is I say, I think that you are most capable of figuring out this tunnel thing, but I would rather that there was someone who had your back while you were doing that.
Oh, I
Do you-
think that's a good plan. And you know traps. And if there's a secret tunnel, if they really want to keep it secret, there may be traps.
Yes, I do know traps. She sort of stops and says, so okay, I will go with you. I was thinking, though, perhaps we might stop and ask either 11th Hound or Grave of Saints, or both of them, actually, to accompany us back to this temple. And she kind of stops and goes, just so.
Of course,
so
of
someone's
course, for
watching
protection. Yes,
back.
for safety in numbers. Oh, yes,
Wait
that
a
is
minute,
absolutely
why
why
are
we
you smiling? And she sort of stops and says, no. It's just, they're both well trained.
I'm beginning to understand you, Shania.
Because I don't think so.
Don't worry, I won't embarrass you in front of them. No, I'll embarrass you. I'll get it out of the way before we meet up with them, I guess.
So who do you want to go get, Janai?
Let's see here. I am, let's see here. In some ways, I am accustomed to, if I look around for him, I will see the 11th Hound. But if I do, that's great. But otherwise,
You tell me who you're going to go get.
mm-mm-mm.
Can I have you please roll inner conflict?
Yeah. That's it. I'm literally having a conflict right there.
This is one of your entanglements.
I don't even have to make the roll. I'm just
Yeah.
frozen. Okay. Oh,
The only thing you can't roll with is Earth.
right. I think that this is me trying to be strong. So maybe I'll roll with metal.
Okay.
And it's so unfair that I have to roll. Okay, 2d6, I'm adding 1.
Yeah.
So it's a 7.
So that is a 7. Do you want to mark metal, or do you want to give up on going and getting one of them?
I will mark metal.
And now, because you've declaimed responsibility, roll me a d6.
Wait, what? I have to roll a d6? Oh
Yes.
no.
Now we will see which one it is.
Okay. Gee, 1d6.
5.
A 5.
So I think as you two are heading out and kind of discussing that, and you're kind of maybe blushing with embarrassment, I think just coming around the corner nonchalantly is the 11th hound, who will see the two of you, and he approaches as if this is an amazing coincidence that the three of you should meet. Oh, this is truly a blessed day that I should run into you, Master Chow Lin, and you lost Song Janai, correct?
Correct. Very good. She goes,
Where are you two headed in such a hurry,
"Ah,
if I may ask?
we were going to return to the temple. We
Ah,
had heard some interesting stories about it and wished to look into it. Would you like to accompany us?
certainly, certainly. I will go with you.
Thank you. That is most kind.
I should warn you that the temple is kept under somewhat tight security.
Is that
But-
so?
Yes, not open to the general public at this point, and certainly it is overseen by the abbot and his company.
Has his company returned?
I have not seen them yet, but as I understand, they are present.
And she sort of stops and says, I had the understanding that we would have the opportunity to return to the temple. If any difficulties arise, I will go to see if Black Pearl can smooth things out for us.
So here is the question. When you get to the temple, are you presenting yourselves, or are you trying to sneak around?
Oh, that's interesting. I think that I would do it, that I would present myself with them like a company here, if that makes any sense, to look at the scrolls. Would be what I would do.
And I think when you arrive, there are, some of the Imperial Guard and that are kind of keeping the place kind of locked down.
Mhm.
And they will call, and within a few moments, Abbot Yulong will arrive. Greetings.
Thank you, Abbott. Go ahead. Hoped to look some more at the scrolls that are under investigation. If that would be permissible.
Certainly, I will lead you and your companions to the labyrinth where they are kept secure.
Thank you.
I would ask that you not take anything out and be careful. Some of these scrolls are old. I only do this because the Empress has said that you and your compatriots are to be given liberties in your investigation. We do not permit anyone outside the temple order normally looking at these.
And
Was partially why I was so surprised to see that young woman there.
And she bows and she goes, I would treat the scrolls with great care.
Did someone steal something last night? You see, you seem concerned. And I
There are
realized that we wouldn't know.
many things of value amongst the scrolls. I have not yet had a chance to inventory them. Please follow me. And he will take you to that secure chamber and will show you in. And he will say, if you need anything, I will post a guard here to attend to you.
Oh, thank you. That is most kind.
And he puts the three of you in that room.
Which
Cool.
sounds terrible, but we know that there's an entrance to the tunnel
Uh-huh.
here. So we'll make sure.
I don't believe that is the case.
No, remember that essentially Moon and Thunder was in the room as well, had come through that.
No, he had come in a different way.
He'd come in through the other door, through the door. And
No, there's just one door. He had picked the lock to go in. Yeah.
So he had picked the lock.
Yes.
Then she had come in.
And
with the
he hid
key.
himself away.
And he hid himself away. And then Sister Lucian came and picked the lock.
And somebody in between.
Yes. There was another person in between.
Holy
So there's
crapoli,
4
this
people
thing
total
is
who
like
were
a
in the room.
highway.
Yeah. Basically, he had clearly gone in there, taking the opportunity that everyone was distracted to go in, as she had done. And then and this is what Shaolin put together, when another person entered the room that wasn't Sister Lucian, he took the opportunity to leave, to head out.
And then Sister Lucian opened the door.
Yeah. Then after that person had clearly, as I said, kind of checked the body to make sure that Iris was dead and left.
Sorry, I completely misunderstood that.
Okay.
So, wow. At least I wasn't the only one.
No, you were not. I thought
Sorry.
I thought there were I thought Moon and Thunder was the only person other than Sister Lucian and Winter Iris who had been
Sorry.
in the
No,
room,
I
too.
had been
Okay.
unclear then about that.
Okay, so we stop. Can we roll back then, perhaps?
Sure. You say you wish to see the scrolls.
Yes. And I think she will hand a scroll to Shaolin. She'll say, if you could go and get the measurements, that would be helpful.
Of course.
The measurements, says the abbot.
And she sort of stops and she goes, she has a theory about the poisoning of Black Pearl.
Which is?
And she kind of goes, he just said that he needed some measurements.
All right.
He has not shared the details of his theory with us yet.
Then what is it that you need to measure?
And she sort of stops and she goes,
like he's very like
This is
He's
like
not
put
going to
him on
let you go
to-
until until
He
he
knows.
knows exactly. Like you've now raised his suspicions.
Okay, awesome. Then she goes, the oblique angles from the windows, and she kind of points to some of the things over there, and she chooses a couple of other things. It does take a bit of what's the word? Takes some calculations.
Right. And he will turn to one of the guards and will say, would you please assist Master Chow Lin? And I will take Janai and the hound to the scroll chamber. And he will lead you down. Clearly not digging the idea of having one of you out of his eyesight at this point.
Okay.
You will note he has a stone and wood stick in his hand that looks like a prayer marker, and he kind of taps that in his hand 3 times as he's walking along.
Do I
Sound
see?
carries quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Do I hear or see the light change anywhere? Shadows?
Make a
That
study
sort of-
roll for me.
All right, I'm gonna do that. So we'll roll with water. So I'm rolling 2d6. Adding 3. So it's an 11.
That is 11. So that is 2 hold. Would you like to gain a clue, or would you like to ask some questions?
It's a really fun time to grab a clue. Just it has to do with this temple itself or the abbot.
So I think you will realize that the temple has been built such that there is a kind of an upper level, an above ceiling, and you are pretty sure that there are people moving along up there on that floor above. Like there's another floor that's hidden that people are able to maneuver from one part of this building to another without being seen.
So that's part of the passage.
It clearly doesn't connect up to the vault, the secure vault, or towards like where the Buddha is, but the Buddha is also closed off and kept away right now until the dedication.
Yeah, that's another thing we got to look at, because I think that's going to be a death anyway. Interesting.
So he will take you to those chambers, and he will let you in, and the hound will kind of nod and smile at him as you two are left in there. Let me come back to Chow Lin. Chow Lin.
Yeah.
You are going to measure things.
Uh-huh.
Are you going to measure things, or are you doing something else?
Oh, I mean, I'm going to try to get the guard to measure things for me.
Okay. And what's your ultimate goal here?
My ultimate goal is to get a look at the base of the Golden Buddha and see if I can locate that secret.
So you want to sneak back to where the Buddha is, get through the locks, and make your way to it.
Yeah, that is my goal. Now, how well I can do that is, who knows? But I think I start by I'm being friendly with the guard. I'm making small talk and actually, is this someone local
This
What I might
is
recognize.
no, this is probably someone with the Empress's retinue who've
Okay.
been sent to kind of watch over things.
All right. Cool. Would this count for a deadly secret?
Yeah,
First meet someone from another faction or group.
yeah. The Imperial Guard. That seems fair.
Yeah,
It's the first
okay.
time you've had a chance to interact with them.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, so ask about or declare or detail their reputation or their clan's activities. I want to ask about um yeah, okay. What do I want to know about the guards?
It is legit for you to say that you know him, for example. That's part of what knowing
Okay,
the
yeah.
world is. And he will like, does that seem like a fair thing? Like when you
Um
kind of out of like range of the abbot, he finally stops, kind of breaks character a little, and he says, Shaolin, what are you? Last I
yeah,
heard, you were
yeah.
on a riverboat heading down southwards.
Uh yes, and that trip went very badly. I hope, well, I hope your life between then and now has gone better.
It has, Lady Fathom came and spoke to a number of the guard and told them to keep a close eye on you.
Oh, that that story is, first of all, that story is completely untrue. You know me better than that, sure. I don't know how to don't know how to get out from under that story. Just denying it. Of course I would deny it.
Right, right. So we need
But
to measure something here.
yes. Balshi wants us to measure the angles. If you could do me a favor and you could pace off the distance from this window to that window, you can see that it's a bit taller. It's a bit over my head, the top of it. But I need the distance along the floor.
Okay. That'll take a bit, but I can do that.
Thank you, and I'll get these over here.
Okay. And so you will divest yourself from the guard, and you'll attempt to kind of take to the shadows and make your way back there. So this is definitely an overcome roll.
Okay.
What do you want to roll
Yeah,
that with?
I think this is awareness, wisdom, and flexibility. Yeah, I think this is water. Because the problem isn't so much can I do this, it's more, can I do this in this occupied area with guards around? Yeah, let's try that. Oh, okay. That's 9. No, that's a 8.
That is an 8. Do you have any bonds?
Yes, I do. I have a bond. I think I have a bond. Yeah, I have a bond with Janai.
So you only have one, so you'd still be at 9.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll just keep the 8.
Okay.
Is this a study roll?
No.
Okay.
No.
This is overcome. So I think that you will get back there, get through the locks. This is very carefully, but I think you realize you have almost no time. Like, you're going to get a chance to go in and see, but then you've got to get out. or
Right. Okay.
that guard will, much as he knows you, will raise some kind of alarm.
Yes. Okay.
So you will make your way, and this Buddha is huge. It is huge. It's cast metal and stone, and it's 3 stories tall, and it's a big stone room, and kind of faintly lit by lanterns around. There are various prayer markers and things, and I assume you want to look.
I do. Yes.
Let's have you roll study.
All right. Let's see. What is this? I think this is probably water again.
Okay.
Oh, and that's only a 6. Oh, but it's a study. Okay.
You
I
could
have
bump
a
it
ton
to a
of-
7 with the bond. And then if you wanted to use one of your shadows, you could take it to a 10.
Okay. Yeah, I have a ton of shadows. So,
Okay.
uh,
Which one?
um, which one do I have ideas for? Well, you know what? I was just talking about a situation that I failed horribly at or that went horribly wrong. So let's take failure.
Okay. So you got a 10 plus, so you have 2 hold.
Cool.
Do you want a clue?
Yeah, let's just take a clue there.
I think that you will go and you will find, and it is very carefully concealed. But part of what gives it away is clearly this path has been kind of well trod. And you will find that there is a concealed door that when it opens up, it will open, and then there's a stairway going down into a space beneath the Buddha here. Now, you don't have time to go down there and look unless you want to cause an alarm.
Yeah, the problem is that Janai and 11th Hound are also here. And if I get caught doing something, they're obviously associated with me. So I think I am not going to go down there.
Step back away from that, and I think kind of shut that and slip back out. Janai, I think
They
we
took
kind
a clue. So what's the clue?
the clue is a chamber beneath the Buddha that spirals down.
Okay. So
Does that feel like reasonable?
we have a passage under the Buddha. The game here is dangerous. A hidden second floor. People there can move along, and now a passage.
Okay, so you've already got that as a thing. In that case, let me roll back.
Okay.
Since you already have that established as a clue, I think we push this forward. I think you will, with some recklessness, perhaps, rush down those stairs to take a look. And down below, you will see that there is a chamber with all kinds of sigils and markings, Taoist and otherwise here. You will see that there are a variety of decoctions and chemicals and things like that, and markers. But the thing that's right in the center is this. It looks for all the world like an Iron Maiden. And beside it, there is a brazier. And kind of look inside, and there's no like spikes or anything on the inside, but it's definitely like it's a mold, a human-shaped mold. And you can see that there are things on the outside, like would there be chemicals or things put in there? You're not sure. But you will look in that brazier, that great brazier there, and you will see that there are bones in there, human bones. And here is the clue. All of that was dressing. The clue is that when you look, you will see like the lower part of a leg and a foot. And there is a second there where you see that there is the sort of second toe of this foot is missing. And you kind of flash back to some conversations. Song Da, Bao Shi, talking about the Empress Dowager and the Empress Dowager's 2 children. And one of the things you remember is somebody saying, the only thing I know about the older one is that he lost a toe in a childhood game with a friend in the palace, and they executed the friend, of course, because he had harmed the imperial body. And you realize that this is the bones and skeletons of one of the Empress Dowager's children.
Okay. Yeah.
There's your clue. Hey, let's come to Lost Song Tonight. So what are you doing here? Do we want to retcon that you've been supplied with the librarian's materials from Orchid before you went?
You mean, wait, winter irises? Or yes, that would be great. This would be the time when I could go through those in peace after that. And yeah, so that makes sense.
So what are you doing here? What are you looking for?
Oh, I am looking to do the cipher, but I think the first thing I'm doing is he's like, he hadn't had a chance to go through all of these and stuff. But I had the impression that when we went in there, that pretty much everything was just sort of plopped in here and set, and no movement had been made in setting this up particularly. Is that correct? Or?
No, some things have put on shelves and things.
Okay. All right. So but
it was very scattershot.
Very scattershot. Okay. All right. So I do kind of take a look at it again. Has it changed from last night? Has someone else been in here?
No, I don't think so. I think given what happened last night, they
had a guard on it. They kept a guard on it. Okay, good. That's good. I just wanted to reassure myself. Then I think first thing I will do is kind of go through Winter Iris's effects to see if I see anything.
So this is a study roll.
Okay. Rolling any 3. So that's a 10.
There's a 10. So that's 2 hold. What do you want to do with that 2 hold?
If there's a cipher, there's a pretty good chance that she has some notes or like reminders of the things, because if a cipher isn't your own, it always takes some, what do you say, landmarks in it that you want to keep somewhere. So I am probably looking for that.
Okay.
Among other things. And then anything else that gives me a sense of what else she was doing here.
So let me come back to this. You have 2 hold for study.
All right. So I'm not going to ask for a clue. I could ask for a clue. Okay. Oh, no.
Or you could ask a couple of questions.
Okay. So what does she have on her person and her personal effects that is notable to me?
It is, you will find that there are a set of metal rings that are around that look decorative scattered in and amongst her clothing and effects. And I think that piece by piece, you will put that together until it's like a
Cylinder.
tetragram device
Oh,
with a decoder kind of thing. It's beautifully made. You
okay.
know that Song Da would be drooling if he saw this.
He won't get to see it.
uh,
This is
It's gorgeous. And I think you find the decoder.
oh, well, that's fabulous. I have found the decoder. All right, thank you. Do I have 7 other holds still?
You have one other hold still.
What what belies her agenda? Like, she gave me the sense that she was after Indigo Judgment. Does that carry through, or was that?
You will find a document, a message sent to her,
All right.
and you can see that it says the Emperor plans on disbanding the Bureau of Legends and creating his own historical society. He believes that Indigo Judgment may be conspiring against the Imperial throne, and she is to watch for evidence of said activities. Does that feel like a fair answer?
Oh, that's very, 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 very fair. Yeah, and there's nothing to suggest it was planted later.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I guess I get down to business with the deciphering and the.
Well,
the
I
other things,
think it's at that point that probably we'll assume that Shaolin will return,
Mhm.
and the abbot will say, there are purification ceremonies that we need to do here and in the rest of the temple, given the instance of last night. So I will have to ask you 3 to leave. Perhaps tomorrow we will be done with those rites, and you may once again continue your investigation.
And she stands up and she goes, very well, certainly those rights are incredibly important. And she bows to him and she goes, please, to the extent that you can, if you would leave these items untouched. And she goes, just as I have endeavored to treat them with the greatest care.
I will do as you say.
Thank you.
And I think you all will head out. One of the things you do notice is when you've been here before, Moon and Thunder has kind of been a fixture in the background. You haven't seen him at all during your investigation today.
Really? That worries me because, of course, when someone goes missing, I would very much like to find them. And I do stop and I say, I met another gentleman here the other evening, Moon and Thunder. Do you know where he is?
He has decided, given the chaos and tumult of this, to move on to another temple to continue his meditations.
Very well. And again, I will nod and I will back away.
Shall we bring the 4 back together here?
Holy smacks, yes.
Yeah, because I definitely am not saying any of what happened, what I saw
Exactly.
in front of 11th Town.
So just to kind of cap her on the Song Da Bao Shi scene before we bring the 2 together, as I do think as Bao Shi, as you're leaving the Empress's presence, and Song Da as Lady Fathom is there. Master Zhaixing kind of comes to, lead you out. He'll say, "Are you all right, Song Da? You seem." She's very intense.
Yes, yes. Her eyes.
Yes. And he kind of puts his pats you on the back and he says, "Like you, I am not a man of the Wulin world. And so sometimes being around the Shah like this is a little unnerving. I think your comrade Bao Shi's meeting with the Empress Dowager is probably done. Why don't I take you to where he is?"
Yes, please do that now.
Oh, yes. And he'll walk along. He'll point out the garden that he has, the beautiful flowers. I think maybe you're a little shaken by all the butterflies that are here. I think you can't help but be suspicious of that. But then you'll see Bao Shi is backed out. He has a serene look on his face of carefully cultivated calm. And Master Zhaixing thinks, Master Bao Shi.
Greetings, Master. It was a truly illuminating moment to be in the personage of such greatness as a Dowager Empress.
Well, I have gathered your friend Song Da, and would you permit me to call a carriage to take you back to your...
That would be most kind. Thank you.
And he'll walk you out to the front gate, and he will kind of gesture and signal, and a bearer with litter will come, and he will say, "I hope that you will entertain my offer of visiting me again once things are settled out, Master Bao Shi."
Oh, absolutely. I look very much forward to it.
He says, "I would be very interested, perhaps in the interest of the city at some point, perhaps finding a way that I could act as a patron to your activities."
That is most generous of you.
Now, I say that knowing full well that your last employer suffered very badly as a result of the investigation, but we'll come to that later.
Of course. Thank you very much for your hospitality.
Thank you for coming, and Song Da, thank you for coming. It was a pleasure to speak with you. How briefly it was.
It's so wonderful. Your house.
It is beautiful, isn't it, Song Da?
So, yes.
Well, I hope that you can come and call on us again.
He is a better writer than speaker.
Many are. And he'll help you up into the cab. And I think we will cut from that to everybody back at Bao Shi's offices.
Can we take a quick 5?
Yeah, let's take a quick 5 and then we'll come back.
Thank you.
So the 4 of you are again later in the afternoon, early evening, back at Bao Shi's office after your different investigations.
Well, how did it go?
You'll never believe I have the most world-shattering secret.
Oh, really? What is that?
I was meeting with Lady Fathom, and that's not Lady Fathom.
Oh,
Who is it?
So someone pretending to be Lady Fathom. I didn't get further than that. It's just definitely not. I know a lot about Lady Fathom. That's not Lady Fathom. That wasn't her stand. That wasn't her form. That was none of her moves.
it's intriguing.
Well, and
I've
that
found
goes, she
something.
was a dragon who had to take on another identity to be in the service, but
So she took on an enormously famous wuxia,
Not enormously famous, but
but a well-known.
but not even well known. Like the only
Mhm.
reason I said that was that Song Da those
Had an
obscure
Ah,
lore
mm,
of the
okay.
thing.
Okay.
Makes more sense.
Yeah, most people wouldn't have been able to see through it, but Song Da is so well informed and
Okay.
skillful that he was able to.
And it shattered
Okay.
his world.
Interesting. Yes. Huh. How was the library?
Well, I can
One of the
tell you all-
princes is dead.
Yes, I was sort of getting that myself.
The prince from the dinner?
No, a different one.
A prince.
the
The older one. The one with the missing toe.
Yes, I was getting that impression from the Empress.
The only thing is, you've seen the prince who's here in the mask, and while you don't know who it is exactly, given the ages, that must be the older prince.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What brought you to this realization, John?
Well, I found a foot
Oh,
under the Buddha, with a lot of bones, other remains. The foot was missing the toe.
you
I
found
suppose it could
the
be
dead
someone else with
prince.
the same toe missing, but it's a fairly large
my.
coincidence.
Oh my! One wonders what the Dowager will think of that. My gracious!
Importantly, Moon and Thunder is missing. Also,
Moon and Thunder.
yes. The abbot said that he
Missing.
had left to go to another temple.
Oh no, he was very determined to continue his study here.
Yes. Which makes me think that something untoward has happened. And
Hmm.
describe the second hidden floor that's up there. And then, but then I also will show them the cipher that I found on Winter Iris's effects and the letter.
Oh, I know several different methods for decrypting the code to open load. I wanted to try this for so long.
And she goes, no, this is mine.
Blue Mountain Scholar would have let me do
He was done.
Dad would
Allow
love
me to assure you, I know the old man.
it. That would explain why the Dowager, though, is not willing to allow an interview with the prince. We're not dealing with the prince.
So what's going on down there? Are they making a new prince? Are they going to try to revive him? Are they?
If he's bones, I don't know if that's how strange. Do we think surely she doesn't know?
What do you mean? She was the one who requested that abbot be the one that builds this Buddha and all of these things. She dispatched him here.
How could she not know? She's been traveling with him.
What do you mean?
No. That the dead body is her. That her son is currently a dead person underneath the Buddha. Does she know that? And you're saying, yes, you think she must. Did I get... I mean, she sounded sorrowful. That's sort of the kind of... I get the idea of when she's talking, I get
I don't think I said anything about sorrow.
No, okay.
I think I said that she indicated that
He was past tense.
There was an ex-prince. Well, she's clearly passing off someone of relatively the same age as a prince, and there would only have been
Yes.
one prince, and that person's dead in a Buddha.
So didn't you just say that the prince that we saw would have been younger than the elder prince would have been? Well,
No,
I'm just
I
trying to
just said
guess.
I
Okay.
said that that prince that you've seen would match the age of the elder prince.
Oh,
Who's
he did.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
this is the one. Yeah,
Okay.
she's doing an impression. She's giving us the impression that that prince is still alive.
So both Lady Fathom and the prince are different people.
Yes. That's so crazy. People impersonating each other. I can't imagine that sort of thing happening.
Happens a lot in the Wulin. I didn't
Does
realize
it
that.
now?
Yes, it does.
Is anybody here actually who they say they are?
I am most certainly Janai.
Oh, I didn't mean you. I meant, you know.
well, I'm certainly 11th Hound. That's who I
Yeah.
am.
Ah!
I'm sorry. I hope I did not.
I didn't realize you were here. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, and you literally didn't realize. I think that he will say, I'll just don't worry. I will not say anything about the matters here, speculations and so on. That's not my business.
You do have the interesting advantage of having been around us quite a bit. Over these last years or so.
No, I have only met you recently.
Did we not? We did see him. We just didn't speak to him.
Right, but you kind of see him at a distance.
I see. Well, I'm sure your input could be most welcome.
Do you want to make a study roll? Do you want to interrogate him?
Yeah, let's make a study roll on this,
Okay.
I guess. Yeah, I think that's probably better than chasing shadows. I think study's probably a better
Sure.
one on this one. All right. Pull over here. I'm looking at the. I'm on the puzzle sword looking right now. All right. I think this is wood. This is definitely very much my curiosity. All right. Come on, roll well. That's an 8.
You want to have a cost, or do you want to use a shadow?
I'm going to use a shadow.
What shadow do you want to use here?
I'm going to use duty. I think we see a very young Baoshi. And I think we recognize the location. It probably hasn't changed much in the years. It's Blue Mountain Scholars' home.
Okay.
As we've well established, Baoshi always having been around.
Exactly. Childhood
And
friends.
I think there's, the sort of when Janai and Bao sort of at the master's feet learning things, and then as we, he's finished whatever bit of talk he was willing to give us before he goes off to do his thing, and we're scooting away. I think he takes a moment and looks and says, Bao. And yes, Master. The most important thing a detective must remember is that truth is not always the same as justice. Do you understand what that means? Master, it means that there are times when those who would be deemed blameless are in fact actually culpable, that they are the reason for a malfeasance. Well, perhaps. But it also means that there are times when the truth will get in the way of justice.
Nice.
You must know the truth. Then, and only then, will justice be clear.
I think 11th Hound will kind of reach out and take a teacup. I assume you want a clue.
I do.
And he says, so what you're saying about the princes is interesting. Because I had heard that the emperor had taken steps and that the two sons of the Empress Dowager, that rumor was that something had happened to both of them.
Oh.
Which is
Nice.
why I was surprised to see her arrive with the prince. Certainly, it meant that my sources were incorrect on that. That isn't why I'm here, but it was an interesting thing.
It is very interesting, Master Hound.
Why are you here?
So the both princes being dead is the clue. And he'll turn and he'll say, and he'll turn to the Master Sangda. After you and your compatriots solved the question of the puzzle sword, there were still some threads hanging out there, including what happened to the person who might be of the other imperial line. And I was tasked by our Cheng Rugong with seeing if I could find that out. And I found that there, in fact, were two children. And both of them had been given over to indigo judgment. But after that, I don't know what became of them.
That's where he comes in.
Yes, it is somewhat odd because, of course, one of them would be about the age of the elder prince. And though it's neither here nor there, the other one would be about your age, Sangda.
Yeah.
Perhaps a colleague you would have met in the Bureau of Legends? Hidden away.
Maybe.
This is very lovely tea you have here, Baoshi. Very strong.
Oh, thank you. I don't know how to make it.
And I think that's probably the moment that your assistant, First Orchid, like appears at his shoulder and he, and startles him. I did. More tea, Master Baoshi?
If you would, please. I, are we continuing to speak in front of our guest? Or
He says, I should probably continue on with my affairs. I haven't had a chance to report into your fiance, Chen Rugong's at the Verdant Pine Society. So I should probably head up the mountain and tell her what little I found out.
I will say there have been the most unpleasant rumors about our friend Shaolin. I was led to believe that you had some degree of knowledge that these rumors were untrue.
About a
Certainly,
good group of murders he's supposed to have done.
I spoke with Shaolin about this. It was one of the people that he granted mercy to that afterwards spun the story in a different direction, taking advantage of Shaolin's good nature.
Shaolin, we should clear your name.
We should absolutely clear my name. I just, I am not sure how to do that.
My dear friend, that is what I do.
You're right. That is what you do.
If you would be willing at some point, I will put together an airtight case to show that this was not you, and I would hope, Master Howard, that you would be willing to speak your piece.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure I will see you around.
Thank you very, very much.
It was a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Lady Janai.
You are muted, my love.
Likewise, and she will walk him to the door because she actually hasn't sit down because she's sort of nervous. So she will walk him out.
He says, I pledge to you that I will not speak of anything that I have heard here today.
Thank you.
And he will bow and head out.
Am I correct that none of us are keeping secrets from the tape? Generally, we've told everything we've learned thus far. Is that right?
Right. Well, Songda?
Lost Song Shania hasn't said anything about the Bureau of Legends.
I did actually, but
Did
I
you?
haven't. Well, I did. I mentioned the thing that had happened to Grave of Saints, and I said I had not previously heard of anything with the memory stuff, and I haven't said anything about the letter yet. But that is the thing, is he was there, so I will show that letter.
And Shaolin, you've told us that you saw. No, now that's Iron Lotus. But someone has told me they think Songbird June is, because I think we heard from
Yeah, you heard that last time.
Grave of Saints.
Grave of Saints,
Yeah.
That he could hear him.
I think I have to find him.
For one thing, he might be in trouble.
For one thing, he may be a killer.
Both are equally possible.
Well, let's hope they're not equally possible.
He is, and she stops. I'm sorry about she.
Well, it's best to know early.
Yes. I do not think it is equally possible. It says First
Thank
Orchid.
you, Orchid.
Just putting my two cents in on this matter.
Where do we delve next, my friends?
Let me ask you a question here, because there has been a piece of information that then has been put out that I kind of need to get Song Da's reaction to. When that letter in its deciphered form is put in front of you, what is your reaction to that?
I mean, it's like shock, horror, thunderstruck.
Really?
Yes.
Even though you've heard all the things that Indigo Judgment has done?
Indigo Judgment is not the Bureau of Legends. Reread that letter, but replace Bureau of Legends with the Blue Mountain House.
And she goes, and if they named my great uncle Blue Mountain Scholar as a great villain for all the things that he had done, I would understand why they would want it dissolved.
So because of one person, your entire clan should be dissolved and erased from history?
And she goes, well, it's the emperor he's tangled with. That's the thing why I would rather not deal with the royals at all.
I'm quite fond of the Bureau of Legends. It is what I have dedicated my entire life and training and existence and energy and creative output to.
Mm-hmm. So is it so it is in danger because of Indigo Judgment. Is there a way that you could save the Bureau?
I don't know.
But is that your desire?
Over its oblivion, yes.
Then there's work to be done. It does begin to point to Indigo Judgment being a severe problem. Do we think, though, he is the one that killed Iris?
Well, it was set up. So perhaps, but I need to get a look at those scrolls again. I had just gotten this crypt. I had just gotten this put together.
Shalyn, I don't wish to call upon your old associations, but perhaps you could find out something from Sister Lucian.
I plan to speak to her, yes.
If the Bureau is to be saved, then finding those of good character within it is important.
Yes. And she's the one who called attention to the murder of Winter Iris. I think she can be trusted.
Sogda, it sounds like, well, there's potential for a royal heir inside of your order. And more than that, what actions would you have us do to help you bolster your society?
I don't know exactly. The biggest threat to the Bureau right now seems to be the suspicions around Indigo Judgment. So I suppose finding the truth one way or the other would at least address the swirling suspicions.
So the truth.
All right.
I believe that I must search out Songbird Yuan. If he is involved in this, one way or the other, there is information to be gained there.
So let's do a once around. Let's see where we get before time, and wherever we kind of leave off, we'll start out with those persons next time. Let's start with Songbird, this question of Songbird June and Sister Lushan, since those are the clearest ones on the table. Does that seem fair for everybody? Okay.
Yep.
Baoshi, I think you return back to the temple that evening and kind of wait and watch. And I think you have some knowledge carefully built up as a detective. I imagine in some ways it's you using your eccentric expert to kind of track down the breadcrumbs to find when at night, that day after the heat has died down, Songbird June finally kind of leaving his place of concealment there at the temple and making his way away from there when you kind of step out of the shadows.
Can I demon catcher on him?
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Okay. Waiting. Let's go with water. I think this is going to have to be that sort of awareness, flexibility on this.
And Demon Catcher is
That's by stalking and following him.
Perfect.
With the potential, yeah.
Okay.
With the
Let's have
potential
you
of
roll.
grabbing something. 4, 6. I've got to burn a bond. I'm gonna burn my first orchid because she definitely warned me all about this whole thing. All right. So let's see. On a 7 to 9, there is a so I got a hit.
Okay.
No sense of my presence, and I +4 against them. 1 forward. So I'm kind of gonna watch him, see where he goes.
You will see him move through the town. And you will see him arrive at a tavern, and he makes his way carefully upstairs, kind of looking around, and you see him go into the corner, and you see him open a door and steps into a room, and you kind of at a glance see that there's somebody in there waiting for him.
All right.
What do you want to do?
Is there a way for me to discreetly get up there, or
You want to get in a position where you're going to eavesdrop?
that would be nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, they're in a private screened room. I think it's no problem for you to make your way up there. And you will hear, it was not me. That was not, I have no reason for doing that. I'm doing everything that the Brotherhood has asked of me. I have followed up as much as I can, but this, I cannot be involved in this any further. Another voice will talk. You're not sure. You can hear Songbird June, but you can't hear him. And he goes, my staying only brings danger to us. I will to everything. Let me return to Bad Valley and tell them what has happened here. And the voice, you kind of get the sense the person gives him an affirmation, like, okay, essentially, you will do that, but tonight, kind of thing. And you will say, June, thank you, thank you. And you will hear the sound of June rising to leave.
I'm going to move you to the bottom of the stair, just where to the side where someone would pass by.
Okay.
And as soon as he passes by, I'm going to fall into step beside him.
Baoshi.
Songbird, I had heard you were in town. I was disappointed that you had not thought to drop in and say hello.
I had to finish business here before I could leave my friend.
Yes, business. And I'm
Let us
kind
go.
of.
Let us go
Yeah,
outside, if we may. He clearly
of course.
doesn't want you to see who he was talking to, kind of thing.
Okay.
Move outside, and he will say, I told you that someone had stolen secrets from my clan.
Yeah.
Poison secrets, among other things. I had heard a rumor that someone at the temple was involved in it. So that's why I returned, and I was trying to look around as discreetly as I could, but then everything went the
It
storms
certainly
rolled
did.
in.
And the handiwork of the butterfly was found on Black Pearl's collar.
It was not me.
I believe you.
I'm not sure I would. I've lied to you so many times.
That is unfortunate. But I don't believe it. What did you learn at the temple?
I do not know exactly, but I suspect that the abbot is involved in nefarious things. He has a clandestine group who move in secret through there. That is not the behavior of a monk.
No.
There was a person who was there who I suspect was trying to find out about the abbot. They certainly seemed like they were sparring verbally. That priest fellow, the Moon and Thunder.
Do you have any idea what has befallen Moon and Thunder?
No, I concealed myself away until darkness fell so I could get out of there and leave.
Hmm.
I just stopped off here for a drink.
So you did not discover who had stolen your techniques?
No. Not with any definitive knowledge or proof. But I know that it's there somewhere, given that those techniques were used to kill both people.
You go into the library at all while Iris was there?
No.
And now you leave the city.
And now I leave the city.
I suppose I won't be seeing you for some time.
It depends on what the reaction is of my brethren.
Are you in danger?
I am always in danger. I'm sorry that I should bring that danger to your doorstep, Baoshi.
My doorstep is the starting point of danger. That is my job, the same as yours.
Then perhaps you shall find me on your doorstep again one day soon.
Be careful.
And he will step in close to you. And
I'll step in close to him.
I think we kind of maybe take a little fade to black there. Chow Lin, you go to see Sister Lushan. I think you'll find that she's actually staying in a house with her sister.
Okay.
And I think, in
Oh, yeah,
fact,
her sister who
lost her job,
yes.
Duan Su. And when you arrive, Duan Su kind of opens the door and is like, Chow Lin. She kind of says it quietly so her sister can't
Yes.
hear.
Is Sister Lashawn here?
Yes.
May I speak with her, please?
Yes. Come in. And she'll walk, a few steps ahead of you, and will say, announces, sister, Chow Lin is here to speak with you. And Sister Lushan has various notebooks and scrolls and things, the kind of paraphernalia you've seen around Song Da before, all of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she will she's clearly startled in that moment where she kind of recomposes herself. Chow Lin, I assume you've come here to question me about the murders?
That question so much. Warn, maybe you warned me a while ago to not get involved because of indigo judgment, and I suppose I'm returning that warning. It seems that indigo judgment is caught up in a conspiracy involving the princes and other royal heirs. I don't know how much to tell you, not because I don't trust you. I think I'm sure you will do the right thing. I'm sure because I don't know how far this goes or who is responsible or how exactly indigo judgment is involved or whose side he is on. But I do know the emperor wants to dissolve the Bureau of Legends because of it.
Let's have you roll hearts and minds.
Okay. What is this? What am I rolling this with? Let's see. Well, it would be wood, but it's not wood because that's marked. I think I am trying to be aware and wise here, so I could probably water again. It's a 9.
That is a 9.
And I will burn a bond on that one. Make it a 10.
I know that things are not right in the Bureau. I did not know that the Emperor desired our dissolution. Indigo Judgment has not shared any of these things with me, but I know that you and your companions, Songda, Shinai, Baoshi, that he considers you all a threat, and you have rattled him. He fears you. He is frightened of Songda.
Songda will be very surprised to learn that.
But the Bureau is all I have. I work to keep the Bureau steady.
And you do. That's I hope that whatever happens, that any justified blame falls on Indigo Judgment alone and not the Bureau as a whole. I'll do my best to make it clear that it's not the Bureau as a whole, it's him. But
that you say that, but that is not the thing. If Indigo Judgment is publicly shamed, it will destroy the Bureau. There is no way around that.
Yeah. I don't know what will happen. Whatever he's involved in, the Emperor already knows, it seems like, or knows some of it anyway. The woman who was killed seems to have been here to investigate him.
You think Indigo Judgment is behind the murders?
I don't know. It's possible. I doubt it. I think he may be involved in a less active, less direct way.
You've given me much to think on.
But I want you to not be surprised by it, whatever happens.
I appreciate that this time you are keeping me informed.
Yes, I've learned my lesson.
Have you?
Yes, I think I have. I should have come to you before I left. I made some assumptions that I now believe were wrong.
You should go.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
think we see you walk out into the street, and I think maybe in behind in the scene, I think we see Sister Lucian fall into her sister's arms. Her sister kind of closing the door as her sister is sobbing. I think that's where we're going to stop for today. We're going to start with Janai and Song Da next time. With that evening, wherever you want to go, whoever you want to talk to, we will cut our scene straight to there. Does that sound okay? You are at 10 clues for a complexity 8 mystery.
I need 15 clues.
You could certainly get a couple more if you wanted to in that first bit. I'm certainly fine with that. Let's look at XP. Both of yours tonight, Bao-Shi.
Yeah.
3.
3. Thank you.
I think definitely your general, Sangda, right?
Yep.
Hit on that hard. I think, again, the reciprocal with Bao-Shi there, Longshang Janai, so another 3 for you. And definitely 3 for you, Xiaolin.
Yep.
And next time our plan is take the first hour for some NPC interactions, things like that, maybe other clue gathering, and then we'll kind of take our walk through. We'll maybe do a little bit of discussion before we do the facet walking through. But we've got some pieces on the table there. I would like to do a quick stars and wishes, if that is cool. Tyler, let me start with you.
All righty. Wow, this was intense. All over. This may be our most, this is the darkest, most intensely dangerous feeling adventure we've seen from our series. Everybody was so good. I loved Song Da dealing with I always forget her name. Lady
Fathom.
Fathom. That was very interesting. But I really kind of enjoyed you chatting with the master of the house there as well. I thought that was a lot of fun. Sherry, there were just so many interesting bits. I liked your pattern with the abbot. That was, well, we needed measurements. Angles and sunlight and things. That was great. And of course, the, piecing together and coming back with amazing information. There were a couple of times, Ethan, where, first off, finding the body was a whole big, holy crap. You going in there like, okay, I'm not going to pursue this further, but oh my God, here's the body. And then we end on such a beautiful scene. Something we kind of needed to see. And it was just lovely. It really was. It was just lovely. I love how we work together. There's become a real comfort in kind of Song Da and Lo Song and I. And Ethan, your character is right in there. There's such a comfort of us figuring things out. And, I thought that was also really fun as we're figuring things out. Hound's here. There's Orchid. Those are all great. Wishes, holy crud. I don't know. I there's part of me that I don't think this culminates the entirety of the story of our group. So I feel like that this should be significant, but in that weird sort of, we've hit rising action. This should be that that things not quite right ending. So there's a part of me that thinks a difficult choice is right there.
Difficult
And-
choice, challenge to the status quo.
Right.
Okay.
You know, this isn't a wish, but I wonder if we're going to just have to assassinate Indigo Judgment. If finding out the truth means that's what justice is we have to do the perfect crime and kill it.
All right.
I don't know. That's not a wish.
Okay.
That's just a wonder at this point.
Okay, I'll cross it out as a wish then. Kill Indigo Judgment. Oh, sorry, murder Indigo Judgment. All right.
Judge Indigo Judgment might be.
Fair enough.
But that's me. This was awesome.
Sure.
Though. This was a good session.
Song Da?
Yeah. this was intense. I like apart from any of the specifics of this mystery, I love the ongoing theme of just like none of the NPCs are who they say they are. And even if they are technically who they say they are, they're not actually who they're pretending to be. Like they're all people that pretend to be something that they're not in public, and then a bunch of them are just imposters as well. And it's just so it's so very this story. And it's just been, I love that every scene is just another form of like mask reveal of Tyler, I really liked your stuff with what's her name, Orchid. I thought your little scenes and bits with her have been you've sort of been building her up over this mystery, but you took that move, and I like how she's now just sort of in the fabric of the group suddenly. Sherry, I also enjoyed you just like coming up with make work tasks to distract people. Just like, oh, we definitely need to measure that. I need you to just count your steps very far from here all the way over there. It'll be, yeah, just let me know what you find. And also just how nonchalant Janai was at the end with like, oh yeah, they're definitely gonna come take apart the Bureau of Legends. That's did I not mention that? I'm pretty sure I mentioned that.
I mean, it's just a letter.
And then Ethan, you had a great range of scenes. Like there was the clandestine / creepiness of like making your way in secretly down below the Buddha, and then this like grisly discovery with bones and stuff, and then just a very like touching emotional scene there at the end with you and the sisters Lucian. But just the way that was a really great scene. It worked out really well. Wishes, I don't even know at this point.
Okay.
I am thrown by events, and we have one session, so dealing with the stuff. I don't want to add in more things.
Fair enough. Janai.
I would just like to say that having introduced all of these kids who were like placed in other families, that being imposters is only the thing of are we who we think we are? Is Baoshi in fact, actually Baoshi, the child, and my thing is Master Wen raised Indigo Judgment's daughter as her own, but did that mean that Master Fen had a child that was then traded off to someone else? I mean, you got this whole thing of, it's just, wow. Who knows how many people around our age are caught up in this, right? So it's just tricky. Anyway, great mystery. It is it is one of those, it is very true to the wuxia drama stuff. So good points. And yeah, they're the ones where you have to go and look it up on Wikipedia to figure out what's actually going on. Everyone was good. I loved how Song Dot was like, just couldn't like go yes or no on anything. He was just sort of overwhelmed with all of the stuff that was coming down the pipelines about the Bureau, about Indigo Judgment and everything like that. It was really good stuff. And then that he came back and said, the world-shaking truth that Lady Fathom wasn't actually. I look at that as Janai almost like giggling too. So.
I knew I had to get that out first, or it's not really impressive anymore.
Exactly. It was awesome. Yeah, it was just so good. And I have to thank Ethan for being a good sport with going to the temple with me, and then getting stuck all by themselves, because I was like, okay, who am I? But at least you knew the guard. That was excellent.
That was a nice use of that move.
That was a great move on that. So I felt so much better when you weren't like under the hawkish eye of one of the Imperial Guard, or worse, one of the Abbott's people. Let's see here. And Tyler, you were lovely and gracious and so flexible, like with that terrible conversation with the Empress Dowager. I was like, my hair was standing on up on the back of my neck the whole time. It's just like, yikes. The feeling of threat was palpable. You just kept on going, so smooth, so certain. It was really cool. It was like that thing of, yep, Fauci's gonna be the big deal at some point in his life, because he just keeps on going. Just got all of that peace and bliss thing, knows he's gonna be right. Everyone loves him. All the great stuff talk. It was a good story, and you all were excellent, and I want to do this a lot more. So thank you.
Wishes?
Ooh. It is. If Indigo Judgment blinded and erased the memory of Grave of Saints, I do want Indigo Judgment to pay for that.
Okay. Chow Lin.
I mean, everyone kind of covered everything. Like, there was, every single conversation was very tense, either because like there was this, obvious threat, or because it was revealing information that someone really didn't want to hear, or like they were all very tense, and there were like high stakes for every single conversation, and it was I thought they were all very cool and very like they all fit the characters well. And even I like that Janai finally got a chance to like actually talk to 11th Hound. And that he turned out to be, like I really like the him swearing to like to her specifically not to reveal anything. I thought that was a really nice touch, along with everything else everyone has said. In character, totally up for assassinating Indigo Judgment. If it goes that way, that's fine.
Fair enough.
Out of character, yeah, I do want to find out what the hell he is up to. That's
all right.
But,
I think that is the crux of next time.
Well, I also want to thank you for giving a very gentle end to that songbird bit there. I thought that was pretty, and you still left him as a potential not bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to leave that out there. So good stuff. This remains a delight and a joy for me to run. So you all are great. I am going to stop the recording